What's up, YouTube? This your boy Mo Real Talk coming to you again. It's been a while since I made a video on my new channel. Subscribe, like, comment, share on all my videos. And, for all you haters, you can also come by and hate as well. I've been taking care of a lot of things and focus on a lot of things besides making videos. But now I'm kind of at a good, settling point. I can start pumping out videos and I got a lot to talk about. So I'll be putting out videos, multiple videos a day. Videos every day about a lot of stuff I want to talk about because I want to dive into these topics that a lot of people on YouTube talking about from my perspective. This is my opinion. This is from my experience. And today's topic is women over 40 years old that's on these dating sites. And the reason why I want to talk about this particular topic is because it's fresh on my mind. And, a lot of people use online dating sites to find love, sex, money, whatever the case may be. And this particular site, and there's a lot of them, Okcupid, Tinder, POF, Tag, all these dating websites that people can use to get sex and all this stuff like that. And in my opinion, a lot of them are a waste of time. A lot of dating websites is a waste of time. You just find what you can get on it and do what you got to do. So this particular dating website is Okcupid that I was on, and I'm swiping. Of course, you know how the fellas, how I go, fellas. You're looking at the profiles and you're swiping left, you're swiping right. So this particular profile I came up on, I was like, she okay. She's not that great, but she okay. It's 44 years old. She's 44 years old, and I sent her a message. What's up? She replied back, hey, what's up? So I went straight to it, fellas. I said, hey, what are you looking for? Because I wanted to see what was her response going to be. She replied back, I'm looking for a fun, loving, honest, caring man, willing to share my world, that's not about bullshit and drama. So when I looked at the message, I was like, wow, okay, I understand. But then I looked at her age again, and I was like, wow. And she has multiple kids, by the way. Single, African-American woman with multiple kids. That's a whole nother topic. So I looked at it, I'm like, well, she's approaching this like she's still in her 30s and 20s. Now I get it with the no drama thing. Nobody wants drama, no matter what age group it is, right? But I was informed by a couple women that's over 40 years old, because I've dealt with a few, that when a woman's over 40 years old and she's on these online dating sites, she's looking for attention, sex. That's it. Because one particular woman told me that when a woman hits 45 years old and she's still single and using online dating sites, she needs to hang it up. Now, she's 44, by the way. At 45, over 45, you need to hang it up and just live life, have fun, and have these little flings, whatever. This came out of a woman's mouth, and I'm looking at her age. I'm like, well, her approach is she wants somebody to kind of like settle down with, I guess, at 44. So obviously she's been through a couple relationships and she's had a few kids with a guy or guys. So from a man's perspective, I'm in my 30s. And I'm looking at her like, well, she can't really offer me too much of anything as far as, building something with her. I can't build with a 44-year-old woman, and I'm single myself. So, I'm available. And we're humans, so we all have sexual experiences. We all have our, sexual thoughts, right? So I'm looking at this like, I'm trying to get it in. I'm being honest, right? And how much more can I do with you? You're 44 years old with multiple kids. You've been through a lot of drama, been lied to, cheated on. Now you're on these online dating sites looking for a man to come swoop you up in your mid to late 40s and wine and dine you and take you around, travel the world. Well, I hate to say this, women. For you women that's over 40 years old that's using these online dating sites to find a good guy, a honest man, a decent man to take care of you and show you the world and do this and do that, 95% chances are that's not going to happen at your age. 40 plus years old, because a lot of women that's over 40, body's not right, face wrinkled up, wear and tear all throughout your body. And us men, we're physical creatures. We're looking at you physically like you're plus 40 and you're not looking good, because a lot of women over 40 years old, no matter what race, don't take care of their bodies and their physical appearance. You know, they don't stay in the gym. So all through the 30s and 20s, they've been running around partying, jumping from man to man, chasing the bad boys, thugs, and all this crap, beta males and all like this. So when you hit 40 years old, now you like, oh, you had an epiphany when you're in your 30s. But now you're 40 years old. Now you're like, oh, I just got to get somebody. Yeah, you have that thought process, but you just ain't going to get nobody. It's not going to work like that. And to be honest with you, when you're 40 plus years old, you better be offering something, you know, whatever the case may be, because men are not checking for you, especially men that's single, with no kids, or even with one kid. They got their shit together. Own car, in their career, they own their own business, good credit score, they educated, whatever the case may be. As long as they got all the check marks of having their shit together and they see you, they're not checking for you long term. I'm gonna be honest, you a short term deal, because what more can you offer at 40, 41, 42, 43, 44 years old, 45 years old and on up to 49? And I'm not even gonna touch about 50 plus, because 50 plus, you might as well just stop tripping. So for you women that's over 40 years old, stop using these online dating sites. Stop acting like you're in your 30s still, or in your 20s still, and you're not. You don't look like you're in your 20s or 30s. You don't act like you're in your 20s or 30s. Your financial status is not the same as in your 20s and your 30s. Your credit is not the same as in your 20s and your 30s. So stop using these online dating sites to get your rocks off just because. It don't work like that. Men are not chasing after you. And now, don't get me wrong, there is some simps out there that will jump at the first chance they get at women over 40 years old, because cougars or MILFs, and then we all know what MILFs are. You know, I've dealt with a few MILFs. I've dealt with women in their 40s, late 40s, even 51. And what I must say, the sex is great. You know what I'm talking about, fellas, if you dealt with women over 40 years old. So the moral of the story I'm trying to tell you guys, and women that's over 40 years old, and for you guys that want to deal with women that's 40 years old, know what you're getting into when you're dealing with a woman that's over 40 years old. She's a veteran in the game. She know what she's doing. And for you women that's over 40 years old that's using these online dating sites, a lot of you using them to get your rocks off. Let's be honest with you, because you know men ain't checking for you like that. I mean, the older you get, the more harder it is for you to get a man. And once you hit 40 and you start hitting into the 40s, men is not checking for you. So your relationship, your sexual market value is not high at all. Because men in their 40s and their 30s, men are looking at younger women. So women in their 40s, no matter what race, are left out to dry. So you got to be hitting on something. Trying to look for a relationship in your 40s, good luck with that, because the percentages are not great for you. You might have a couple flings, or might have a couple dates with a guy, but long term, you're not a long term option for women over 40 years old dealing with men in their 30s or even in their 20s. Hell, even dealing with men your age. Men your age not even checking for you. I'm just being honest with you, because I'm in my 30s, and if I deal with any woman over 40 years old, it is what it is. I'm single, so if you're single, you do what you do. Just be careful and be smart with what you do. You know, I just wanted to drop some knowledge, you know what I'm saying, give you some real talk on, you know, to you guys that's dealing with women over 40 years old, and for you women that's over 40 years old using these online dating sites to play games like you in your 30s and 20s. You can't do that. And men are getting smarter. You know, and for you, this don't apply to all women over 40 years old, because there is some out there that still got great bodies, still look good, got their shit together, credit score good, own place, own car, but you still single, but you got all the check marks. So this doesn't apply to all women over 40 years old. This applies to the women that's doing this, that's over 40 years old. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself. Be honest. You know what you on. Well, you know what you're using these online dating sites for. Sex. Sex. Women over 40 years old that's single, using these online dating sites, majority of them are using it for sex. Because relationships wise, they're done. They don't want to be in a relationship no more because they've been screwed over by multiple men. They got multiple kids by 1 or 2 or 3 men, depending on what woman it is. So I don't want women to start commenting or start talking about, oh, he's trying to, pinpoint certain women and all. No. I'm talking on both sides. Men that's dealing with women over 40 years old, or trying to deal with women over 40 years old, and also women that's using these online dating sites for a front. And you know what you're on there for. Stop lying. Be honest with yourself. The more honest with yourself, the more happy you will be. Okay? Anyway, this is more real talk. I want to drop a video on you. You know what I'm saying? Sharing my thoughts on certain topics. Subscribe, like, comment, share to my channel, man. I'm back on YouTube. I'll be dropping more videos. I'm signing out. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Peace.